Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind.
Good evening, Spencer. I see we got some people starting to drop in, and we are about to go green. The boys are qualifying right now. We'll go over the qualifying order here in just a moment.
Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
Alrighty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PTM Racing TV. We are back for the Green Mountain Grills, the Fast and Fun Green Mountain Grills Truck Series. Tonight, we're bringing you the Green Mountain Grills 110 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Looks like we are just about ready to line up for the green flag. Looks like Craig Janzik and Eli Childs take the front row, followed by Sheldon Pearson, James Harris, Robert Lawrence, Daniel Starner, Brian Lorenzo, Robert Wynn, Russ Kilgore, Brandon Ball round out your top 10. Jonathan Diamond, Stephen Pless, Kyle Spees, Garth Snyder, Richard Fornshell, Gary Lynch, John Thacker, Robert Wynn Jr., John Fix, Caleb Forsyth bring out your top 20. And we'll go over the rest of these guys here in just a few moments. But let's go find the leader. There is the 21 truck of Craig Janzik. He got the pole for tonight, followed by the 13 of Eli Childs. In 21st, we have Stephen Madden, Jacob Givens, Stephen Clegg, Brian Rowell, Michael Potter, Jay Culp, Kevin Kirchar, Nathan Meyer. Round out the 28 trucks that are here tonight, and this is going to be quite a race. It is 110 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1.5 mile track. They will be going wide open all night long tonight. This is going to be one heck of a race. These guys have been practicing and talking a bit of smack this week as the points race is starting to heat up, especially up at the front. Your top 10 in points currently are James Harris, Craig Janzik, Robert Wynn, Stephen Clegg, Kyle Spees, Robert Wynn Jr., Russ Kilgore, and James Carroll. That's your top 10. From 1st to 5th is about 32 points currently. Now remember, they get 2 bonus points for winning a stage, 1 for leading the most laps. So some of these guys are definitely running for those points, and I know Craig Janzik, talking to him earlier tonight, he is definitely running for a win and for the points. He is just 3 points behind James Harris, so you know that that's going to be one heck of a battle. Craig starting in first, James in fourth. That's going to be a battle all night long. Got people in the chat cheering for both Craig and Robert Lawrence. Great to see everybody tonight. I'm not sure why we haven't gone green yet, but it looks like they're still lining up out on the field. Now, as per usual, we will be talking to some drivers tonight, and here we go, just as I say something. So for in the future, remind me if it's taking too long, I'll just say something. Apparently that works really, really well. As we watch them come around, they get 1 pace lap. We'll watch the 21 take the start tonight. Quick facts about this track at Charlotte Motor Speedway: 1.5 miles, 24-degree bank turns, 5-degree bank straightaways. They do have 5 sets of tires tonight. The one that's on there, 4 additional. 110 laps, 45 laps is the first stage, 65 is the second stage. And the one missing tonight was winner from last week, excuse me. Grant Enfinger isn't with us tonight, it appears. That kind of shook everybody up, it looked like, and Grant just kind of hung out at the back, and then at the last minute came through the field. Got a lot of notes from this week. There was a lot of conversation before and during the before the race, during the week, and definitely since practice the other day. So we'll see what these guys have as the pace car drops off. Looks like Craig Janzik in the 21 elected to start on the outside, and the 13 of Eli Childs tries to get a jump, doesn't. The 21 is now in the lead. Looks like we had a little bit of an interesting start there. And the one thing Craig Janzik does not want to see right behind him, there is James Harris. James Harris said that this track and next week will be his 2 best tracks. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. Next week, I do believe, is Dover. Let me check the schedule. Yes. Next week is Dover Motor Speedway. Or Dover International, excuse me. And so that will be, James is expecting to hopefully seal the deal here tonight and get another win next week and maybe widen that points lead. There is talk that this may end up in a playoff-style situation. At the end of the season, we see James Harris already looking to the inside, trying to go to the lead. And we know James is one heck of a fast driver. We'll see if he has anything for Craig, because we also know that Craig spends a lot of time in practice. I believe prior to Nashville, he did 200 laps at the track, 200-plus laps at the track, so as we watch the guys come out of the turn, and it looks like James is going to hold on to that lead, but we know Craig is definitely good at saving his tires. And of course we have the dark horse, the man who said he didn't get a lot of practice this week because he's been awfully busy. Robert Wynn started in 8th, currently in 8th, and ran 60-plus laps at Texas on a single set of tires to win that race. When everybody else was pitting, Robert stayed out. Talked to him a little bit about that earlier. He wasn't as confident as he was at Texas, but he's hoping to pull something off here. Now, one thing is this track is abrasive. It is hard on the tires. We will see some of these guys starting to push coming out of turn 4, and their number one concern is running into the wall as you come through the quad oval there. As we see them come through 1 and 2, we've got 5 laps down already. And the front 2 trucks seem to be just taking off. We go back and look, and Eli Childs gets past in that number 13 truck. Looks like the 73 just hopped into third place, Brian Lorenzo. Currently showing that James Harris has the fastest lap so far tonight. However, Brian Lorenzo's last lap was almost as fast. We're talking hundredths of a second, folks. So if Brian saved any tires at all, he'll start coming up, and he is already closing the gap up to Craig Janzik and James Harris already. He started in 7th, has already moved his way up to 3rd. We see him get real close to that wall coming out of turn 4. That's what we were talking about a minute ago. Another problem that tends to be in this track is that you have a headwind coming down the backstretch, and that headwind does affect your handling as you go into turns 3 and 4. And there's Brian Lorenzo looking to the outside of the 21. Falls back in line, waits. We're going to see, might see a move. Oh, move to the power move going to the outside down the front straightaway. Not quite there yet, but Craig Janzik's going to try and hold him off, but I don't know that Craig can do it just yet. As they come out of turn 2, the 73 does get the inside line. Oh, Craig's trying to block. Holds him off for this lap. And Brian Lorenzo is going to come back around out of turn 4, see if he can get another run. He'll definitely have momentum after falling back just a little bit from that block. He'll have some momentum coming out of turn 2. Having that draft to pull back up there, but James Harris is looking in the mirror, loving this view. As he sees the 73 finally get side by side. Brian Lorenzo moving into 2nd place. Just about got it. The 21 slides up the track just a little bit. Brian capitalizes on it. Craig drops back into 3rd. And now Brian Lorenzo sets his sights on the 44 truck, the Green Mountain Grills truck, James Harris. Excuse me. As they come down the backstretch, Brian Lorenzo is just charging up. He is now, on average, the last 2 laps, he has been almost a 1/10 of a second faster each lap than James Harris. He's going to close this gap very quickly if he keeps that up. After 12 laps, those tires are starting to show a little bit of wear, and it looks like Brian is starting to see some of that wear already. It got a little tight in the middle of 1 and 2. And we see the number 21 already coming back to the inside. There is quite a bit of action up front right now. The 21 is already looking back to the inside. Craig is trying to get back by. Now we mentioned that the 73, Brian Lorenzo, started in 7th, moved his way up to 2nd very quickly in just a matter of 5 laps. So Brian has now used up a lot of tire getting through traffic, and the 21 has been taking it easy a little bit, it looks like, and there's the 13 of Eli Childs right behind him. The 34 of Robert Lawrence is sitting back there in 5th, followed by Sheldon Pearson. There is Sheldon in 6th currently. In 7th, we have Daniel Starner, Stephen Pless in 8th. Looks like Russ Kilgore moved up to, or held on to 9th, and Kyle Spees in the number 1 is currently running in 10th position. And we saw Kyle Spees earlier this season was leading the points, missed a race. He's now back here in the thick of this battle, but he is also moving up in the points. Currently, he is in 5th place, just 32 points out of the lead. He has been charging up. Just 2 weeks ago, he was outside the top 10 after missing just a couple of races. Now he's already back up to 5th and charging forward. He's won, I believe we have a race win and we have a couple of stage wins and most laps led, and he has started storming back up. As we see quite a battle here. Looks like this is 6th through about 11th, 12th place here. As we see the number 69 truck, Stephen Pless, making a move. He started in 12th. He's already in 7th and looking to make a move on 6th. Got some help from behind the 28 truck of Russ Kilgore. Oh, looks like Russ is trying to find which line is going to go fastest where. That inside line is definitely fastest through the corner. The outside line will have a little bit of an advantage coming off the corner and down the back straightaway. The inside line is definitely the place to be on the front straightaway, though. As we see in the distance there, the top 5 are just lined up nose to tail, playing nice. Oh, we got a spin! Looks like Kyle Spees got into the 28. And we are under caution for the first time at lap 19. And now here comes the pit strategy. As there's your leader, James Harris. And he's going to come around and look for the pace car, which is going on to the back straightaway right now. And Garth Snyder's family is in the house. I got to say, I got to race with Garth yesterday in the 87 Cup cars, and we had one heck of a race, and I told him before the race if he beat me or he wrecked me, I'd make sure to mention it. Well, he did beat me, but we both had terrible luck in that race, so definitely got to give a shout out to Garth, though. He was running a good clean, and he was definitely running fast yesterday, and I know he runs fast in these trucks. As we see the 44 and the 21, nobody comes down. None of the front cars come down the pit road. Looks like the first car down pit road is going to be the 9th place Kyle Spees, Brandon Ball, John Thacker, and a lot of cars outside the top 20 are now on pit road. And it looks like we might have the benefit of having race control with us, Matt Mosniak. Let's see if we can talk to Matt. Hey, Matt, this is Doug. You got me?
I do.
Well, this is an exciting start to the race, sir. How's things in the booth there?
Once we started to get going, we realized that these guys only have 3 sets of tires and not 4 that were in the pits. Now with this truck, obviously, it makes a lot of guys going to be struggling to try to come back from it. But so far, so good. I mean, we got 20 laps in.
So when you guys realized that, did Robert Wynn just start laughing on the mic?
I know several people were laughing. I didn't catch on who all was laughing.
I imagine if anybody's going to make a really long run on a single set of tires, it's going to be Robert Wynn.
Yeah, I'm expecting a couple people to try that strategy if they can keep out of trouble.
Definitely so, definitely so. All right, well, thanks. I'll let you get back to running things, and we definitely appreciate having you with us tonight.
No problem.
As always, it is great to have Matt there in the booth. Definitely makes things a lot easier. And we saw the 28 and the 1. Let's see if we can find the 28. See if the 1 is back out. Yes, the 1 is back out. Looks like he is in okay shape. We are playing with a new tool tonight. Hopefully this will help us show you a little bit more of the race and see some different views quickly and be able to show you a little bit more of what's going on tonight. as they're coming around to complete lap 21 of this 110 lap race. As you heard Matt say, they expected to have 4 extra set of tires. That was the original plan. They are down to 3. Now 110 laps, that makes 4 total sets of tires. The one they start on, 3 additional. That does make things a little bit interesting. They can go 30 laps. These tires will definitely do easily 50 or 60 laps, but they're going to start losing grip pretty quickly. So you got some of these guys, looks like from about 15th back, are all on fresh tires. We've got the top 14 are on old tires, and then John Thacker is the first car out there with fresh tires. We might have to go take a look at him here in just a minute. After we, looks like we'll be getting the 1 to green. They are already starting to stack up the 21 to the outside, so we'll see what happens here. But I would bet that we see some of these guys on fresh tires start to come through that field pretty quickly. And as we get the 1 to green, looks like James is going to prefer to start on the inside tonight. I know we saw Craig, who qualified first, started on the outside. So we'll let them get a lap under their belt. Let's make a note here that John Thacker and Richard Fornshell, Kyle Spees, and Kevin Kirchhoff are the first 4 cars with new tires on. They are running 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. And we will definitely hop back, take a look at the 56 and the 90 after this first lap, and we see how this how the leader position sorts out. We know the 21 likes to start on the outside line, so this is kind of an advantage that James likes. James chose the inside to restart on this time. James will control the restart. Gets a little bit of a jump on Craig this time, and Craig drops down, stops a run from Eli Childs as they go down into turn 1. It looks like James is already going to try and check out a little bit. Eli Childs back there in the 13 truck battling for 3rd position. Looks like he might actually slide up and get that 3rd position. And we've got a truck to the inside. Looked like somebody might have gotten loose off of turn 2 and ended up down in the inside wall. Stayed off the racing surface and managed to not draw a caution. Looks like that was Stephen Pless that got had some problems there. Let's go find the number 90 of Richard Fornshell. There you see that number 90 truck coming down through 3 and 4. He is on fresh tires. He has moved up to 13th. He restarted in 16th, actually. Already back up into 13th position, and looks like he is going to try and get by the Zaxby's truck, number 54, Brian Rowell, and should be able to do so pretty easily. He's got only 6 laps on those tires, and 3 of them are pace laps. As he comes out of turn 2 down the back straightaway, he definitely makes that move, and he is going to go looking for Jay Culp in that 88. Back there in traffic, he is still running faster. And here comes Kyle Spees to the inside of him. And we've seen Kyle Spees come back from being further back in the pack a few times. So Kyle Spees already moving up. He's back up into 13th. After getting a little bit of a wild ride. Now they do have one faster pair tonight. Not sure if Kyle had to use his yet or not. He's already making a move on the 88 of Jay Culp. James Harris is still leading Craig Janzik and Eli Childs up front, but the real action is going to be right here, watching the number 1 of Kyle Spees and the number 90 behind it, as the number 1 is already making a move on Garth Snyder. Down inside the number 72 Sig Sauer truck. As they come down the front straightaway, he makes another pass. Kyle was shown in ninth on the... Looks like we have trouble at the front. Looks like the 21 was up in the wall. Caution is out. Let's see if we can see what happened. As they come through, it looks like the 21 had just gotten in front of James Harris. They just had a little bit of a bump there, and here we are back live. James Harris is currently leading. Craig Janzik managed to hold on to it. Only lost a couple of positions. He's back to third. Eli Childs is currently running in second. Looks like Craig, due to when the caution came out in the scoring, Craig's going to be moved back up into second position. Let's try and see if we can get a look. Like to get a look at his truck and see. Looks like he has just a little bit of damage on there. Not a whole lot. He might be okay. As he drops into the pits and gets... Yep, he's going to go ahead and get 4 fresh Goodyears. We're at lap 30. And that relinquishes second position to Eli Childs, but look who is up there. There's the number 24 of Nathan Myers. Started in the back today. Already made his way up into the 4th position. He's still on his original set of tires, as we're seeing a mixed bag of tire strategy here. As we saw some cars come in on that last pit stop, we've got some that are coming down pit road right now, and as they come around, scoring will update, and we'll see where everybody falls out. But it looks like the top 4 trucks, James Harris, Eli Childs, Nathan Myers, Jonathan Diamond, are all staying out. They will have a stage break at lap 45, so they're going to hold on to those tires for as long as they possibly can. What do you say, since they are not getting, let's make sure they're not getting the 1 to green here, and we'll go talk to James Harris right quick. They are not. Hey James, it's Doug in the booth. You got me?
Hey Doug.
Hey, had a little problem there, but you've had a dominant performance so far tonight.
Yeah, I love this track. I think I may have burned my tires up a little bit too early in the beginning there, trying to get the lead, and kind of went into conservation mode. I think we had some guys just go pit now, so the stage win may be out of our hands, but at least I'll have that extra set of tires for the second stage.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of strong trucks right behind you that stayed out, so you might still have a chance of getting that stage win.
I'm going to go for it and give her a shot. I may burn this rubber up trying to do it, but I'm going to go for it.
You go live, or you go green with about 13 laps in the stage, so you ought to be all right.
Yeah, we're going to go balls to the wall.
All right, man. We'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, man.
That was James Harris in that number 44 Green Mountain Grills truck. Green Mountain Grills obviously is the sponsor of the Fast and Fun Racing League. And they are the sponsor for the race tonight. This is the Green Mountain Grills 110. And again, let's just talk about the 24 truck here real quick. He started in last place, 28th, and is already up to 4th. He has worked his way up there quite well. As we see Jonathan Diamond pulling up, looks like we are getting the 1 to green. I do believe the truck to watch this time around is probably going to be that 21 truck. I think we'll see Craig Janzik being very careful with his fresh set of tires, but I also think what we're going to see is him picking his way to the front one spot at a time. He is currently in 14th position, so we will be peeking in on him after the green flag quite a bit. He was the other, James Harris said, as we heard, he's a big fan of this track and big fan of Dover next week. But Craig Janzik feels the same way, and we've got a couple of other racers in here that think they've got a shot at beating both of them. Including that number 13 truck of Eli Childs out there. We'll definitely try and talk to him later tonight as well. Chris Shriver in the chat tonight. Thank you, Chris. As they come around, they're coming out of turn 4. We should see the pace car is off. James Harris will control the restart, but he's got a hungry pack behind him as he gets a good jump. The 24 is already moving up into second place on this restart. Looks like the 24 is going to get the second position. Eli Childs will slip into third. Maybe, but that number 1 of Kyle Spees is still back there, and they look like they might try. Nope. Kyle thought better of it. They are not going to try 3 wide into turn 3 on old tires. Wise choice on all of their parts. As we look back there, and Kyle Spees in that number 1 truck has now moved up to third, making a move on the 13 for second position. And James Harris is about to have his hands full. Kyle Spees stopped on lap about 15 laps ago. On lap 19, on the lap 19 caution, he stopped and got fresh tires. So James is out there still on those old tires, and here comes Kyle Spees moving to the front. He's going to try and take the lead, and it looks like he's going to have it down into turn 1 and 2. As we heard James Harris say, he might have burned his tires up getting the lead and holding on to it early on. And there is a hungry pack back there around the 24 truck. Those 3 guys up at the front, they are loving this side-by-side racing because these guys do not get all the speed through the corner. And as long as the front cars are single file, they can actually run away, as we're seeing. As they come out of 3 and 4, we'll see them get up close to that wall the longer they're on old tires, and I guarantee you before the night's out, we're going to see somebody smack the wall. And here they come down the back stretch. It looks like Kyle Spees is just checked out, and look who it is there. There is the 21 truck of Craig Janzik. He was way back on that restart, has already picked his way back up into 10th. Looks like he moves for 9th and 8th. By the time he comes out of turn 2, he's going to have 7th, it looks like. Now he's being scored in 6th. He's passing so many so quickly, scoring's having a hard time keeping up. Jonathan Diamond there, let's see, he's still on his original set of tires. He will not be able to hold the 21 off for long. Managed to hold him off for about half a lap, but the 21's going to take him, go to the outside, and just kind of power by him. And the gap from Craig Janzik to the front now is closing rapidly. He's currently 2.7 seconds behind, but rapidly closing that gap. And it's even smaller now as he closes in on the 44 and the 13. Looks like Kyle Spees is kind of checked out. Once Craig gets past these 2 trucks, though, he might actually be able to close that gap. With 6 laps until the stage break, the question's going to be, Can Craig get up there to get those bonus points he wants? And I would imagine after that incident, James is, giving him some extra room into turn 1 to make sure he gets by clean. Gets up there, and he's going to come flying by the 13 down low on the backstretch and sets his sight on Kyle Spees. The gap now we'll see as they cross the start-finish line. It looks like the gap is just 2.5 seconds, but it's starting to close very rapidly. Now that he's got the clean air, Craig Janzik can run that truck down very quickly. But Kyle Spees, the number 1 truck, definitely is currently in the lead. And somebody we talked about earlier, then he kind of slipped back. He has moved up into 3rd. That's Robert Lawrence, the number 34 truck. He's made his way back up to 3rd place after the pit stop a little bit ago. And we're starting to see some of these guys going backwards. The 44 truck has slipped back to 6th position now. The 13 is back in 5th. And Jonathan Diamond, also on old tires, has slid back to 7th. Richard Fornshell's in 8th. Daniel Starter 9th. And Stephen Clegg in 10th. Brian Lorenzo just outside the top 10 in 11th. Jay Culp is still holding on to 12th. Robert Wynn Jr. just took the 12th position, and let's see. Now let's go find. There is the number 16 truck of Robert Wynn, the Metallica truck. He started in 8th, has moved his way up into 4th currently, as we see him weaving down the backstretch, trying to break the draft of the car behind him. And he will definitely be somebody to watch all night as we get the stage break caution on lap 45. And I would imagine we're going to see the 44 and the 13 for sure on pit road. We're going to see, looks like we've got, still out there on original tires, we've got Eli Childs, James Harris, Brian Lorenzo. Brian is on fresher tires. Jonathan Diamond is on old tires. Jay Culp, Stephen Madden, Nathan Meyer in that 24 truck. He was battling for the lead earlier. Brian Rowell. They are all still on old tires. We're going to see a lot of these guys, once they get stacked up and the pit road opens up, we're going to see a lot of these guys hit pit road, get fresh tires, and we'll have to watch and see if the front 2 trucks, Kyle Spees and Robert Lawrence, we'll see if they go onto pit road as well. As we watch them come down through turn 3, this will tell the tale. How many drop below that little blue line there? Looks like this 2nd place truck looked low for a minute. And the leader does drop below the blue line. We'll see if any of them are going to try and fake out their opponents here. No, we've got quite a few of them hitting pit road. Looks like there's only about 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 trucks that are staying out. Really kind of surprised to see this many hitting pit road, but they know that there is no more planned caution, and they also know that if they have to, they've seen Robert Wynn go the distance on old tires. Looks like the 35 of Daniel Starner stayed out. We'll see as they come back around. Looks like Jonathan Diamond might have stayed out as well. We've got the 9 truck of John Fix out there. Looks like he is trying to get a lap back. Sheldon Pearson is out there trying to get a lap back as well. So right now it's that 35 truck in the lead. Now he was last on pit road about 18 laps ago, so he can go quite a bit further on those tires. We'll see what his strategy turns out to be and if it's the right strategy. And we see the lap cars. Looks like Sheldon stayed out. John Fix went down pit road. And so as they all sort themselves out, looks like it'll be Daniel Starner restarting in first, Brian Lorenzo in second, Kyle Spees, Robert Lawrence, Robert Wynn Jr. in fifth, Craig Janzik, Robert Wynn Sr. in seventh. 2-lap old tires. That will be the one to watch. We'll keep an eye on that number 16 truck tonight, and maybe Junior, we know he can run just as long as his dad does on the old tires. Learned a little something there from him. Eli Childs is in 8th. James Harris is in 9th. Stephen Clegg's in 10th. Then it's Jonathan Diamond, Richard Fornshell, Jay Culp, Stephen Madden, John Thacker, Kevin Kirchar, Brian Rowell, Jacob Givens, Garth Snyder's in 19th, and Caleb Forsyth is in 20th. And everybody out there currently on the lead lap, except for Daniel Starner, has fresh tires. Will Daniel Starner be able to hold these guys off, or did he just make himself a very big target? We should be getting the one to go, and we'll see how the 35 chooses to stack up. Lights are out on the pace car. We do get the one to go. As they are side by side. Looks like the 35 is choosing to restart on the outside. He'll have Brian Lorenzo on fresh tires to the inside. Given the option, I don't know how that one would work out. I would almost prefer to have the inside line going into 1 and 2, but I don't know that he's going to be able to hold them off from either position. As they come down the back straightaway, like I said, looks like we will have about 60 laps to go when the green flag drops. And here in about 15 or 20 laps, I expect some of these guys, as the tires wear out and they're in the final stage, they are racing hard for positions. They don't know if there's going to be another caution. I would expect to see some of these guys start pushing a little bit harder in about 20, 30 laps and possibly tag that outside wall coming out of turn 4. We'll see, but that 35 gets a good jump. Daniel Starner shoots off into turn 1. He's got a little bit of a lead, but the 73 looks like he's already clawing back, and the 1 of Kyle Spees already moving to the outside into turn 1 and 2. Kyle Spees already going to the outside, looking for that second position, makes a power move down to the inside through 3 and 4, drops underneath the 35. We are about to see some serious racing. The 34 drops down low. And look right there behind him. There is the 21 truck. Craig Janzik already moving back up into the 3rd position. Right on the tail end of the 34 truck. 34 drifted a little high in 1 and 2. He's about to have his hands full, but Craig is about to have his hands full with another driver. That man right there, the number 44 of James Harris, the dominant truck so far tonight. Looks like he's going to be dominant yet again. He dives underneath the 21 coming out of turn 4. Looks like Craig is not going to push too hard right now, trying to save a little bit of tires. He knows James burnt up the tires earlier in that first run. Hoping he does it again, but James is already going to make a move. He is looking to the inside. Is he going to make the move in 3 and 4 or hold off? Nope, he is going to hold off for a minute. Get a look. Yeah, he's already catching some momentum. Closing that gap up to the 34. Looked like he had a run and might have backed out of it for just a moment. And he is trying to keep that left side in clean air. Keep a little downforce on the nose, trying to get to the lead. Looks like James might have stalled for the minute. We'll see if he can get back up to the lead, but right now, it is this man, Kyle Spees, leading the race. As we said earlier in the race, Kyle Spees missed a race earlier in the season, fell way back in the points, right out of the top 10. Now he's back up in the top 5. He's in 5th position, just 32 points out of the lead. But the real points battle is playing out right there with that 44 and that 21 truck right behind him. They are first and second in the points. James Harris needs to get back to the lead, lead some more laps, get the point for leading the most laps. He didn't get the stage win, so he's trying to get as many points as he can and bridge that gap. And the 21 seems to be going backwards just a little bit as we see the number 13 diving underneath going into 3 and 4. Jonathan Diamond there in the Oreo truck right behind him. Looks like he's going to move up. I've got to think that Craig Janzik, as many laps as he turns for practice during the week, I got to think he's got some sort of strategy here. And it looks like Robert Wynn has had a little bit of problem on this set of tires. Not sure what's going on. He slipped all the way back. He is in 22nd. Robert Wynn Jr. is in 23rd. And they are on fresh tires. They got tires on the last caution, the stage brake. And if I had to guess, I would say that Robert Wynn is definitely, don't know if Junior's doing the same strategy, but if I had to guess, I'd say Robert Wynn is not pushing that truck nearly as hard as he has to. As we saw at Texas, he can go 60 plus laps on one of these quad ovals, no problems at all. He is not fighting at all as he comes underneath the 68 truck of Gary Lynch. As we hop back up front, Kyle Spees has got about a 7 to 8 tenths of a second lead on the 44 of James Harris. 44 James Harris managed to get back around the 34 and move back up into second position. And we see quite a battle back there around the 5th place as we see the 21 ducking to the inside of Eli, looking inside Eli Childs. Will he make the move? Yes, he will. We saw Eli pass him a few minutes ago. Thought the 21 might have had some problems. Does not look like he's having any problems now. He's moving back forward. His lap times are certainly not showing any problems. He was one of the fastest on the track the last lap. In fact, the only one faster than Craig Janzik the last lap was that man there in the 44 truck, James Harris, the only one that's faster than Craig and the one leading the points currently. And he is definitely trying to get back to the front, get back past Kyle Spees and see if they can pull something off, if he can pull off a win tonight. He felt like he could win this week and next week pretty easily. We are coming to 50 laps to go. We are still green, and there is every possibility as this field starts to spread out, there is a real possibility that we could go green the remainder of the race. We tend to see that in these kind of these races, where as they start to spread out, they definitely stay greener longer. They're not around each other. They're not racing. Everybody's on different strategy. Everybody's driving style is a bit different. Everybody wears their tires a little different. As we see the 44, James Harris starting to challenge for the lead. He's looking to the outside of Kyle Spees going into 1 and 2. Got a little bit of a run. Drop back low. Drops down to the inside down the back straightaway. And it looks like that is going to be the move tonight. If you want to make a pass in these trucks, hop to the outside going through 1 and 2, drop down, and undercut going through turn 2. Come out on the low side on the back straightaway and get a run. And it looks like the 44 James Harris has got a little bit of help from Robert Lawrence in the 34 truck behind him. Haven't talked a lot about Robert Lawrence tonight, but he is just kind of back there stalking. He's been in the top 5 most of the night, except for the occasion of pit stops. He's been up there in second, third, fourth. Been in the top 5 pretty much the better part of the night. And look at this. He moves into second and starts looking. Looked like he started looking like he might be able to make a move on the 44, but he's going to get a battle from Kyle Spees there as they come through 1 and 2. Kyle's not going to give up positions that easily. Robert falls back in the line. Probably just trying to save a little bit of tires. As these top 3 run away from the 4th place car, and we see 4th place is back to Craig Janzik. Got Jonathan Diamond chasing him down, and Eli Childs is starting to slip back just a little bit. 45 laps to go. And there's the 13 truck of Eli. He's fallen back to 8th place. Started in 2nd. He's been up there at the front most of the night. Might just be conserving tires, or might have overcooked them on those first few laps. Remember, they've been out there about 20 laps now. So the tires they're starting to see what their tires have got left, and some of them will start thinking, can we stretch it? Oh, as we see an accident front straightaway, the 90 and the 81 got together. Looks like they managed to hold it together though. And we've got a mess on the back straightaway as the 91 and that was the 91 and the 90 that got together, but they managed to hold it together, keep it straight, and we stayed green. And we see the 24 starting to move back up as well. We talked about Nathan Meyer. He started in the back of the pack tonight. He is already back up into 9th place after that restart. And he is starting to break away, trying to move back up. He is looking for John Thacker. There's John Thacker, currently running 7th. And while we were away, James Harris has moved into the lead, but he's got quite... We saw him move into the lead earlier, but he's got quite a battle going on right behind him. And surprisingly, they have not lost any time. Normally, James would be looking in the mirror, being really glad to see these guys battling side by side, but he's just not been able to drive away from them. As I said, Charlotte Motor Speedway is a 1.5 mile track that you're doing close to 200 miles an hour around. To give you perspective, these guys are running currently on old tires, running 31.5 second laps on a 1.5 mile track. And if you want to see what that looks like, it looks something like this. As we come out of turn 4, they're going to try and stay low on the banking. That outside wall gets close very, very quickly, especially as the tires wear. There's your start-finish line. As James Harris dives off into turn 1, he's going to try and hold it low, rolls out of the throttle just a little bit, drifts up onto the back straightaway, right out by the wall, comes back down low in turn 3 and 4, trying to hold that middle line. Looks like he got a little tight that time. And coming back to the front straightaway, and he did all of that in 31.5 seconds. That's a lap around Charlotte Motor Speedway in one of these trucks. And I can tell you from experience, on some of these tracks like this, these trucks are actually faster than the Cup cars. They get through the corners a lot faster. They don't have the same amount of power on the straightaway, but they're going through the corners so fast and they have such an advantage that they can keep up with the Xfinities easily, and the Cup, they can keep up with the Cup guys when they're pushing hard. And Kyle Spees moved back into second place. This battle's still going between the 1 and the 34. Kyle Spees, Robert Lawrence. But James Harris cannot seem to get away from these guys, and Kyle Spees is starting to look for a place to pass. Kyle Spees keeps looking to the outside, and Robert Lawrence is looking to the outside of him. And while all this is going on, they ran away from that pack behind, but Craig Janzik is starting to close that gap up after he passed Jonathan Diamond. Jonathan Diamond's 2.25 seconds back. Craig Janzik has already closed that gap to 1.1 seconds. And he is loving seeing that pass going on right now, as Kyle Spees is looking to the outside of the 44, James Harris. Robert Lawrence is trying to find a way past on the inside. And they have the lap car, the 35 truck, still out there on old tires. And James Harris is coming down pit road. He gives up the lead on with 35 laps to go, 34 now. He gives up the lead to get 4 fresh tires. Kyle Spees and Robert Lawrence now have the lead. Craig Janzik has closed that gap quite a bit. And Kyle Spees is down. He is going to go to pit road and get 4 fresh tires. As we see, Jonathan Diamond makes a power drop down, and Eli Childs both. They drop down. They're going to gain some positions on the number 1 of Kyle Spees just by that. By virtue of that move onto pit road. That was quite a move. They definitely got on the brakes hard. And the 88 truck of Jay Culp assumes the lead. "33 laps to go. Jay Culp assumes the lead. He's been out there. They're about halfway through a fuel and tire run. They could go the distance on fuel. They could go the distance on tires if they had to. They could probably go the distance on fuel, but they do not. Nobody's wanting to try that tonight. Once one of them hits pit road, they're all going to hit pit road. We're going to see a few of these guys try and stretch it out as the 56 of John Thacker is making a move for the lead. And now here comes the interesting question. There is the number 16 of Robert Wynn. He has been out there since the stage break on that set of tires. He is moving into 8th position, it looks like. Probably going to be picking up 7th by virtue of some pit stops. And the 24 powers by on the inside. Looks like he's got 4 fresh Goodyears. Here comes some of those guys on fresh tires. Around some of these guys on old tires. Now they did get a couple, these guys that stayed out, they have got a couple of laps on these guys with fresh tires. And you can see the disparity in speed. The number 16 is on old tires. The 13 passing him is on new tires. But we know what Robert Wynn can do on those old tires with 30 laps to go. And he's been saving his tires there at the back. He's moved up into 7th already. As people start to pit and try and stretch. Some of them are going to try and stretch it. Some of them are going to pit. And it looks like Jacob Givens gives up 6th place to go into pit road. Robert Wynn moves up. And here's where it gets interesting because only the top 10 cars, once they cross the start-finish line, will only have 9 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else who's pitted is at least 1 lap down. I guarantee you some of these guys that are out here on old tires are just hoping for a caution, perfectly timed caution. They can get 4 fresh tires and they've trapped half the field a lap down. We know Robert Wynn can stretch this to the end. But Jay Culp is still up there in that number 88 truck leading. He's being passed by the number 90. 90 is still a lap down. That truck is Richard Fornshell in the number 90 truck. He is trapped, currently showing 2 laps down. Looks like he might have had some trouble on pit road. 27 laps to go. Jay Culp has a almost 6-second lead over Caleb Forsyth. Brian Lorenzo is in 3rd. Garth Snyder up in 4th. 6.5 seconds back, and Garth is actually catching up. Stephen Madden, Kevin Kirchar, Robert Wynn is in 7th. Stephen Clegg is in 8th, and that is the cars on the lead lap. Looks like Gary Lynch, James Harris, and Robert Lawrence have almost unlapped themselves. So they are going to be coming quickly, but will they have enough time if this stays green to get back around and catch back up to Jay Culp? As we see that pack right behind the 88, all those cars are on fresh tires. The 24, the 21, Nathan Myers and Craig Janzik, they're trying to get their laps back. The 39 of Jonathan Diamond. And the 88 just kind of gets stuck in the middle as everybody's trying to get around him. Kyle Spees right behind him. Kyle is on fresh tires as well. Looked like Kyle had to check up through 1 and 2 to not get into the number 88. And 88 Jay Culp dives down to pit road. That moves Brian Lorenzo in the 73. Now assumes the lead. He is followed by Caleb Forsyth in the 76 and Garth Snyder in the 72. Garth now up into 3rd, Stephen Madden into 4th. That'll put Kevin Kirchar in 5th and Robert Wynn in 6th. James Harris has managed to unlap himself. He is 7th. Robert Lawrence is 8th. He has managed to unlap himself as well. And they're just 17 seconds back, but with 23 laps to go, will it be enough? Will they have enough time? This is going to get a bit interesting. Looks like Caleb Forsyth ducked down pit road. Moves Garth Snyder. And that 72 Sig Sauer truck is now in 2nd place. And these guys back here that have pitted, like James Harris and Robert Lawrence, they are running about a second and a half faster than Brian Lorenzo and Garth Snyder, but they are way back, 20 plus seconds back. Robert Wynn currently showing in 5th place, Kevin Kirchar's 4th, Stephen Madden is 3rd, Garth Snyder in 2nd, Brian Lorenzo in 1st. Caution is out, 21 laps to go. Let's see if we can find... Oh, looks like the 88 got stuck on pit road, or got into some trouble on the front straightaway. Let's see if we can go straight to the instant replay. As we watch, looks like the 88 was coming out of pit road. We'll watch this lap and see if we can see what happens as he comes off pit road. He had just ducked down pit road to get fresh tires. They were still under green. Gets up on the back straightaway. Not fully up to speed yet. Looks like he's starting to get there. Looks like he managed to keep up with the 91. Starts to make a move. And he just drifted up a little too much and got into the number 91. And there are quite a few people out there right now that probably did not want to see that. We've got quite a few trucks that got trapped a lap down. And I know guys like Garth Snyder and Brian Lorenzo did not want to see that happen. As the 72, Garth Snyder, he's on pit road. Craig Janzik, Kyle Spees, looks like they might be taking the lead. We'll let scoring update. There's a lot going on with different pit strategies. Some of these guys, by virtue of having passed the leader, they will get waved around the pace car. Just as they would in NASCAR, they'll pull up behind the pace car, and if the person scored as the leader, looks like, if I am calculating this right, I believe Craig Janzik will be the leader when we get everything lined out. And with 19 laps to go, him and Kyle Spees have been on their tires for about 15 laps, and then everybody behind them, Robert Wynn, James Harris, Jonathan Diamond, Eli Childs, John Thacker, Gary Lynch, Stephen Madden, Nathan Meyer, they all came in and got fresh tires. That's all the way back to currently showing in 12th. As I said, the scoring should update as we cross the start-finish line, and I think we will show Craig Janzik leading. We should see here in just a moment. Brian Lorenzo and Garth Snyder. Yep. There we go. Craig Janzik, Kyle Spees, Brian Lorenzo, Stephen Madden, Garth Snyder. Smart move on his part. He played strategy perfectly. Sitting in 5th place, fresh tires. James Harris in 6th, Nathan Myers, Jonathan Diamond, Eli Childs, and Brandon Ball. Now that 21 truck of Craig Janzik, he is definitely does not want to see any more yellow flags. He wants to get out there, break away, get the lead, and get the win. $18 laps to go. Looks like we'll go green with 16 to go. This is going to be quite an exciting finish. You do not want to go away. Before we forget, we definitely need to give a shout out to our sponsor again, Green Mountain Grills. If you're looking for a new grill for your turkey or anything, not just for Thanksgiving, but for Christmas, definitely check out Green Mountain Grills. I want to thank them for sponsoring the Fast and Fun Truck League and for sponsoring this race. We should start seeing, I think a few of these trucks are going to get waved by the, yes, we are seeing some trucks get waved by. That'll put the number 21 of Craig Janzik right up behind the pace car. And he will get to choose his starting spot. He is going to start on the inside this time. That is a little bit different. We saw Craig starting on the outside earlier on. Kyle Spees will be on the outside, then Brian Lorenzo, Stephen Madden, and Garth Snyder. Can't say enough about that strategy. Managed to stay out, hold himself on the lead lap, had moved up to third, went in, got fresh tires, and now showing in fifth spot, followed by James Harris, Nathan Myers, Jonathan Diamond, Eli Childs, John Thacker. Robert Wynn currently in 13th. He had fallen back early in that run, so obviously that was part of his strategy, was falling back and saving some tires. He managed to get all the way back up to, I believe, 6th place, or 5th place before the caution came out. He was the one person that did not want to see that caution the most. And the pace car, looks like the lights are back on the pace car. They're going to go one more lap as they sort it out. That many trucks getting waved around. Does take a minute to straighten everybody back out and get in the right spots. And now we will have the one lap to green. And just a reminder that Craig Janzik and Kyle Spees both pitted just 18 laps ago. Everybody else pitted on this caution. So those two pitted under green and managed to get back up to the front. Everybody else that pitted at that same time went in and went ahead and got their last set of tires. I guarantee you most of these folks, even if they have another set of tires, they will not, if they get another caution, they will not go for it. As they come down the back straightaway. Big line of trucks. We've still got 16 trucks on the lead lap. Looks like 26 still on the track. That 21 Motorcraft Ford. Just think how much more dominant Craig would be if he was in a Chevy tonight. Sorry, Craig, but you knew that one was coming. As they get the green flag, Craig does get the jump on Kyle Spees on that restart. And he takes off that big lead down into turn one. Kyle Spees is not going to let him get too far away on this restart. James Harris is already starting to make moves back there. And it looks like Craig is going to protect that low line, force him to go to the outside. So we see the number 73 of Brian Lorenzo is up there in third. James Harris is making a move to the outside of the 26 of Stephen Madden. Kyle Spees is looking for a way around. Looking for any way around the 21. The 21 is going to block every which way he can. He drops low to block the 73. The number 1 to the outside. He's got the 44 to help push. The 21 manages to get up. Craig manages to get up and block. He is blocking 3 lines at a time here, folks. The 1 gets a nose to the outside. Can he hold everybody off? No, it looks like Kyle Spees has the run to the outside. The 73 is right behind the 21. There's 2 lines coming down the back straightaway. It's almost a Daytona type situation. They are nose to tail, 2 and 3 deep. side by side all the way around. The 44, James Harris, is looking to the middle, looking to go 3 wide down into turn 1, and he's going to have some help going 3 wide as the 73 is down. The 44 hits the 1. Kyle Spees is in the wall. Caution is out. Oh, we've got several trucks in the wall. The 44, the 24. And that is exactly what Craig Janzik wanted to see. He definitely, that puts him in a bit of an advantage. He is the fastest car out there right now. And let's watch this replay, folks. As they come down the front straightaway, the 44 is looking to the inside, gets into the 1. 1 gets into the wall, and there is just calamity behind him. Looks like somebody bumped, and the 8, several more trucks get caught up in that as well. Looks like the 13 and the 88 managed to get around it. So that definitely shaked things up just a bit as the 21 is leading with just 10 laps to go. Let's see if we can talk to Craig right quick. Craig, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yes, Doug, loud and clear, buddy.
Well, it looked like you had a hard battle behind you, and then they went 3 wide into turn 1, and it looks like you might get the points lead tonight.
Well, I'd be okay with that. I'll have to watch some of these moves that are causing this kind of melee here at the end. I don't want to speculate what's going on here, but obviously these guys are going to be faster, but they don't really know how much I was saving coming back through there after that pit stop, because I know that I'm on my last set of tires. I couldn't pit there when everybody did. I was out of choices after I had that little run-in with James at the start of this, and we're just going to hold on for dear life, Doug. I'm going to do what I can. I'm not going to block like an animal, but I'm going to take my defensive line. There's no question about that.
Well, you definitely had a fast truck most of the night, and I made a comment about it right before that last restart. Can you imagine how much faster it'd be if you were driving a Chevy tonight?
I will, maybe I'll have to break out the Silverado one of these races. I will, it will, Words seem to win it all, though. I don't know what to tell you there.
Okay, I'm gonna let that one slide. I'll put you back into the chat. Best of luck. Maybe we'll be talking to you here in about 9 or 10 laps.
My heart's pounding out of my chest already, man. Thanks. Hope to talk to you.
And that was Craig Janzik. Had quite a good laugh there. So that definitely is going to mix up the point, but let's look at the top 10 right quick. We've got Robert Wynn Jr. and Sr. both on pit road. The top 10 are Craig Janzik, Brian Lorenzo, Stephen Madden, Eli Childs is up to 4th, John Thacker, Kevin Kirchard, Gary Lynch, Kyle Spees, Garth Snyder up there in 9th, and as I said, Robert Wynn Sr., Jr., and Caleb Forsyth are all on pit road. They are the last cars on the lead lap. Everybody else is showing as being 1 lap down, so there's only, looks like there's going to be about 12 cars on the lead lap, so several of these guys are on fresher tires, and we've got 4 or 5 of them back here that saved several sets of tires early on, so I would expect to see the Wynn family move up quite a few spots. Garth Snyder's pitted for tires as well, so I imagine he's going to come up. Will they have enough to get to the front and get to Craig Janzik and make the pass? That's going to be hard to say. Looks like we are going to get 1 to go with 8 laps to go, so they will restart on 7 laps to go. And we're going to see quite an exciting battle. Now, Craig Janzik is on 26 lap old tires. The only other truck out there on that old tires is Kyle Spees in the number 1 truck. He was involved in that accident. Looked like he might have pitted and got some repairs done. Uses fast repair possibly. Everybody else, Brian Lorenzo, Steve Madden, Eli Childs, John Thacker, Kevin Kirchar, and Gary Lynch pitted about 12 laps ago. They're on fresher tires. And then 9th through 12th, as we mentioned, Garth Snyder, Robert Wynn, Caleb Forsyth, and Robert Wynn Jr. are all on fresh tires. Brand new. But as you heard Craig Janzik say, he had to use an extra set of tires he had hoped to save earlier on. Looks like we've got one. I thought we might have been getting a lap back there, but nope, just warming the tires up. And dropping down to take a look. We're definitely going to try and go back and take a look at the 89 Robert Wynn Jr. here in just a moment after we get that restart. See what Marvel paint scheme he is running tonight. Craig Janzik gets another good jump on the restart. The leader does control the restart once the pace car is off. He's got a good jump on the 73 of Brian Lorenzo. Stephen Madden and the 13 are side by side. Eli Childs trying to make a power move on the outside. Craig Janzik wants to see them racing behind him. He can go through and use the whole track all the way around. He has the advantage if they get side by side trying to make moves, trying to get to him. But will he be able to hold off the 73 of Brian Lorenzo? He said he's not going to throw the big blocks at him. We saw what happened when they were trying that earlier on. The 73 of Brian Lorenzo makes a move to the outside. Looks like he's going to make it stick. Moves up into first place. Brian Lorenzo takes the race lead. Coming to 5 to go, and the number 13 of Eli Childs is out there trying to get to second, but the 21 of Craig Janzik is holding him off as the 13 ducks to the inside. And the 13 moves to the inside and defiantly takes the second place position. Eli Childs moves up to second. The 21 does not look like he is going to give it up quite that easily. He's still trying to look for a way to get back around that 13 and that 73. Brian Lorenzo coming to 4 to go. He's got a bit of a gap there. Eli Childs is trying to close that gap. Brian is watching his mirror as much as the windshield right now. 13 is looking for any line he can to get past it. Brian is looking to run his line and run as fast as possible and hold him off. He's managing to keep that just 0.2 of a second gap on him. Looks like Eli might have a little bit of a run down the front straightaway. Eli gets a better run off 1, but Brian gets a better run off 4. Eli gets the better run off 4. Brian gets the better run through 2 and down the back straightaway. Looks like they are staying pretty even most of the track. 3 coming to 2 to go. Brian Lorenzo still has the lead. Eli is looking. Eli has closed the gap quite a bit. And John Thacker has moved quietly up into 3rd. Craig Janzik slips back to 4th. Gary Lynch is in 5th. Robert Wynn Jr. has moved up to 6th. Garth Snyder is in 7th. Kevin Kirchar, Robert Wynn, and Stephen Madden running out the top 10 as the 13 dives underneath the 73, coming through turn. The 56 is looking to the inside as well. Now the 56 and the 73 get together. Caution, no caution. They stay off the racing surface. Keep it going. They're staying straight. And it looks like on the final lap, Eli Childs takes the lead. Coming to the checkered, Eli Childs has it. Eli Childs takes the win. And amazing, in the last 3 laps, Eli Childs moves to the lead, takes the win. Craig Janzik finishes 7th. Robert Wynn Jr. 3rd. Gary Lynch 4th. Garth Snyder pulls in a great 5th place finish. Robert Wynn 6th. Kevin Kirchar 7th. John Thacker is 8th. Brian Lorenzo 9th. And Stephen Madden rounds out the top 10. Let's see where James Harris comes back 17th. He is going to lose the points lead tonight. But it is Eli Childs taking the win. And we're going to see him come. And here comes his friend James Harris. Going to help him do some burnouts there on the front straightaway. And they're going to play a little bit while they're at it. Let's see if we can talk to Eli. Hey, Eli, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Looks like you got some help celebrating tonight, buddy.
Heck yeah. We're just all having a good, fun time out here.
Well, that was quite a finish tonight. You were fighting your way up. Did you have anything for those guys at the end, or were you? It looked like you were struggling to get to first.
Yeah, I was just kind of biding my time for the last couple of laps, and just waiting for, because Brian I think had 2 tires, so I was just waiting for him to kind of burn his stuff up, and then figured I'd get him with about 2 to go, 1 or 2 to go, which I ended up getting him with 2 to go, I think.
That was a beautiful coordinated spin, by the way, as we're watching your burnouts.
Yeah, first league win out here tonight, so.
Well, that was
Pretty
definitely.
pumped about that.
I bet you are, and I bet you were a little bit nervous seeing that accident right behind you coming to 2 to go, hoping that they would stay green and they'd keep it down on the out of the race line.
Oh yeah, I was stressed when I seen him go sideways. I was like, no. I was like, keep it green. At least let me get to the finish line before we did that. So.
Well, man, you pulled it off. That was one heck of a win. You had one heck of a drive tonight, man.
I appreciate it. Want to throw thanks out to Champion and BSM and Green Mountain Grills for putting this on for us.
Well, congratulations. Great win. Go celebrate with the guys, and I know you'll be partying later tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to you in a bit.
Yep.
All right, that was Eli Childs, our winner for tonight in the Green Mountain Grills 110. Definitely go check out the Green Mountain Grills. If you need a new grill to cook over the holidays, check out Green Mountain Grills. I want to thank them for sponsoring the Fast and Fun Truck League and for sponsoring this great race tonight. We saw some epic racing in the Green Mountain Grills 110 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Big shout out from PTM Racing TV. All of us here at PTM want to thank you all for tuning in tonight here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed the race, and we definitely hope to see you back next Thursday night where we'll be at Dover, and we will definitely see one heck of a race there at Dover next week.